do 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 dee 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 da 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 da. Come on, everyone, sing along. A dee 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 dee, a do 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 do, dee 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 dee. Here we go then. Yes, we are back. Hello, everyone. It is another English Addict coming to you live from the birthplace of the English language, which just happens to be, oh my goodness, it's England. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I can't wait to get started. I feel so excited and I just can't hide it, as you can see right now. Here we go then. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. What? What is happening there? What has happened to my little photograph? It's disappeared. That's a good start. The whole thing has disappeared. See, that is supposed to say Mr. Duncan, and underneath it is supposed to say an English addict, but I don't know what's happened there. It's all changed. It's gone back to its default settings. So that was a good start. I enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that moment of time there. I think it's going to be one of those shows, to be honest. Here we go then. Yes, my name is Mr. Duncan. We don't have the caption, unfortunately. It's not there. But I am Mr. Duncan. Please trust me. I'm not an imposter. I'm not a person pretending to be Mr. Duncan. First of all, why would anyone pretend to be me? Really? Who would want to pretend to be this? I can't imagine anyone ever wanting to do that. Here we go then. Yes, I am feeling okay today. I hope you are feeling well and happy and safe wherever you are in the world. We have made it to the middle of another week without blowing ourselves up, which is always a good thing when you think about it. Yes, it's Wednesday. It was International Women's Day yesterday. If you are a woman or you are thinking of becoming one, then can I say Happy Women's Day for yesterday? And of course I did do a live stream yesterday. I was on here doing a short live stream as a way of celebrating International Women's Day. And I think it's a good thing to have Women's Day. There's nothing wrong with that, is there? No, I don't think so. Why not? That's what I say. It is Wednesday the 9th of March. Those weeks and months are really flying by. I was thinking this morning how wonderful it would be if it was 2020 again. It seems like such a simpler time when all we had to worry about was a worldwide pandemic. Those much simpler and quieter times. Wow, that's all I can say. My name's Duncan. If you just tuned in and you're not sure what the hell this is, you're thinking, what the hell is this? Well, stick around and find out. That's all I can say. Here we go then. Yes, we have the live chat. Oh my goodness. Today we have first on the live chat Palmyra. Hello Palmyra. Congratulations to you. You are first on today's live chat. Maybe it's old age, but I don't know what's happening to my neck. It seems to be... I seem to be growing a second chin. I have my lovely chin here, but underneath, for some reason, I don't know why, look, can you see that? There is another chin growing underneath. Hello, my name's Mr. Double Chin. How are you today? Today, talking of today, because it is today, and here we are all together. Very nice. Today we are talking about advice. I like to think of myself as being a sage. And I'm not talking about the herbs. I'm not talking about any herbs. I'm talking about a person who can offer and give good advice. So I like to think of myself as the sage of English. Sometimes I give good advice. I suppose sometimes maybe my advice is not good, or maybe it is not useful to you, but I always try to give some advice. And I hope most of it is good advice. And that's what we are talking about today. We are talking all about giving advice, maybe receiving advice as well, because it is a two-way thing, you see. You can offer, you can give advice, you can give help to someone, and of course you can receive it as well. So you can send advice, give advice, or you can receive advice as well. That is something we are talking about a little bit later on. So I hope you will stick around for that. Hello Richard, hello Beatrice, hello Gulu10. Nice to see you back as well. Hello there. Also Yaroslav, who says, please help Ukraine. Well, I am sure I am not the only person to say this, but yes, it is a serious situation, and all eyes around the world are watching what is going on there at the moment. We also have hello to Luis Mendez is here today. Hello, Luis. I have some photographs that you sent. I'm going to show all of the photographs and everything that has been sent to me by you out there in YouTube land. I will be showing it on Sunday. So I am here on Sunday, of course. Every week I'm here every Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time, English Addict Live. And yes, I will be showing all of the photographs and things on Sunday. Hello to Lewis. Hello Christina. Hello to Vicente. Hello Vicente. I like your name, by the way. I feel quite sophisticated when I see it. Vicente. Is that right? Have I pronounced your name right? Vicente. Also we have, oh, I see, we have Do Quinn Fung, who is watching in Vietnam. I think so. Hello, Wafei. Wafei, Wafei. I'm saying hello to Wafei today. Hello also Mohammed Obi, or Obi. Also we have Marcin. Again, we have Jessica. We have Kamalakanta. I hope I pronounced your name right. Kamalakanta. Kamalakanta. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Welcome to you watching in India. Hello, India. Nice to see you here as well. Lewis, but not that Lewis. This is another Lewis. This is Louis the 17th. See, I'm starting to think that perhaps you are not really Louis the 17th. I think so. I think you might not be. I'm not sure. I have a feeling down my left leg that you are not really Louis the 17th. Hello, Erica. Hello also to Paolo. Wow, it's a busy one today. Nice to see so many people here giving up your time during the week. Hello, Vitas. Hello to Vitas. I would imagine there are lots of things going on where you are in Lithuania for various reasons. Hello also to Civil Engineering. Hello, Civil Engineering. I'm sorry, I can't say your name. I think these teeth, these are my new teeth, by the way. Do you like them? I bought them yesterday on the internet and they arrived this morning. But the only problem is they are still a little bit loose. So I might mispronounce some of the words today. And also we have Sandra Gonzalez is here as well. Nice to see you as well. What area are you living in the UK? I am in a little place, a small town called Much Wenlock. And we have our own paper. We have our own newspaper. There it is. Can you see it on the screen? The Wenlock Herald. We are so important. Even though our town is very tiny, it is so small, but we have our own newspaper. Marcin is here as well. Rungsak. Hello, Rungsak. Thank you very much for your lovely message that I saw on my comments this morning. Thank you very much. Also, we have Nguyen T Tan or Tin Tam. I hope I pronounce your name right. As I just explained, my teeth are new. These are my new teeth. You see, I've had these just put in to my mouth. So I have to be careful. If I talk too quickly, my teeth might fly out. And no one, and I mean no one, wants to see that. I don't think so. Thank you very much for joining me. I feel a little bit guilty today. I feel slightly guilty because Mr. Steve was going out for a little run just before I started today's live stream, and I did something that I feel ashamed of. I feel a lot of shame at the moment because I gave Mr. Steve the brush off. Do you ever do that? Do you ever give someone the brush off? Brush off. If you give someone the brush off, you are telling them that you don't want to see them or you don't want to talk to them at the moment. You do not want to be disturbed by that person, so you give them the brush off. It's rather like having something on your shoulder that you don't want to have near you. You give them the brush off. So I told Mr. Steve not to disturb me. I gave him the brush off, and now I feel really sad about it. I feel guilty because I should have let Mr. Steve come into the studio to say hello to me before I started today's live stream, but instead I gave him the brush off. Not very nice, is it really? I feel so ashamed of that. Hello to Filippo. Have you ever met one of your fans face to face? Yes, I have. I once had a whole classroom come to England with their teacher all the way from Turkey. And not Turkey, I beg your pardon, South Korea. Not Turkey, South Korea. I don't know how I got those two places mixed up, but I did. It's my strange brain, you see. But I had some students, some very young students, and they came here to see me, all the way from South Korea. So we had a great time. We all met up in a place called Stratford upon Avon. And we had a great time there. We spent the whole afternoon together. We had a lot of fun. And they also were going to other parts of the UK. So whilst they were travelling around the UK, they actually stopped off in Stratford upon Avon, which happens to be the birthplace of William Shakespeare. Ooh, very fancy. So yes, I have met some of my students, and hopefully, and that is all we have nowadays, is hope. Hopefully I will be meeting up with some of you next year, or maybe later this year. We're not sure at the moment, but we are hoping to have a little get-together, a little rendezvous with myself, Mr. Steve, and also some of you as well. Although at the moment we don't have any plans. It's not easy making plans at the moment, as you may have noticed. So I don't plan anything. I wake up in the morning and I open my eyes, and if I'm still here, if I'm still alive, I have a big smile on my face. And that's it. That's all I can do at the moment. Hello also. Yes, if you give someone the brush off, maybe you get annoyed. But I think if I don't do it, then I will be distracted. So giving the brush off is sometimes necessary. That's a good point, actually. That is a very good point. Because sometimes if you're really busy doing something, and let's face it, we all have busy lives. Sometimes we do not want to be disturbed. We don't want to be disturbed. We want to be left on our own because we have things to do. So unfortunately, because I was busy this morning preparing this, I had to give Mr. Steve the brush off. I feel quite guilty about it, to be honest. Fadul is here. Hello, Fadul. Hello, nice to see you, and thank you very much for your lovely thumb as well. A beautiful thumb. If you like this, please give me a nice thumb. Louis XVII says William Shakespeare was married to Anne Hathaway. You are right, yes. Hello also to... I'm liking your messages today. I am liking them very much. Thank you very much. Hamzik. Hello, Hamzik. I think you've been here before. I don't think it's your first time, is it? I think you've been here before in the past. Hamzik. I don't know why, but I recognise your name. It seems familiar. Something that is familiar is something that seems known. Something you seem to know, something you are familiar with, is something you feel as if maybe you've seen before. So maybe you feel as if you've heard a song, or maybe you feel as if you've heard someone's name before. It seems very familiar. We also have, oh, very nice, very nice. Fadul, thank you very much for your lovely greeting again. Isn't that nice? So we are going to look at words and phrases connected to advice, giving advice. I might even ask you the question, do you ever, or have you ever received or asked for advice? All of that coming a little bit later on, but first let's have a look at one of my full English lessons. As you know, over the past 15 years I have made lots and lots of lovely and hopefully informative lessons about the English language, and this is one of them. Can you see what I'm standing inside? This is something you will see a lot on a countryside walk here in England. This is a type of gate that is used on public footpaths in rural areas. It is called a kissing gate. You will often see them around the edges of farmland where a public footpath comes into a farmer's field. The shape of a kissing gate means that only one person can go through at any time. The gate will not open right out, thus preventing livestock such as sheep from escaping. The gate is closed off on both sides. This is because of the shape of the enclosure. It is normally semicircular or square in shape. The gate touches or kisses each side of the enclosure, which gives this gate its name. It is a kissing gate. It allows people to pass through whilst keeping the farmer's livestock enclosed in the field. Can you see what I have here? This is string. It is a useful item for tying things up with. You tie things with string. You tie up something to keep it in place or to bind things together. The word string can also be used in other ways too. As a phrasal verb, you can use the word string to mean lead someone on by making them believe something that's not true. You string them along. You are stringing them along. You are cheating them. To fool someone into believing something that's untrue is string along. I don't believe a word of what you're saying. You are just stringing me along. As a verb, to string up means to hang something with a rope. To execute a person by hanging them by their neck is to string up. Then there is the phrase highly strung, which means to be oversensitive and easily upset. A highly strung person tends to overreact to things. He has a reputation for being highly strung, so be careful what you say. It's time to take a look at another buzzword. A buzzword is a word or phrase used frequently during a certain period or for a certain reason. Today's buzzword is millennial. The word millennial can be used as an adjective or noun. In its general term, the word refers to a period of 1,000 years. For example, a millennial cycle, which relates to the time something takes to complete or come round again. Then there is the more modern use, which is a person who will reach young adulthood during the early 21st century. A person who will be a young adult in the early 2000s can be described as a millennial. We often hear about millennial trends and millennial habits concerning young adults in today's society. The adjective describes the person, while the noun refers to the status. Young adults in the early 21st century are millennials. The needs of the average millennial tend to be technology-based. Social media sites often find it hard to keep up with the demands of the millennial user. Are you a millennial? This particular buzzword is often used when discussing the needs and requirements of the current and the next generation of young adults. Here are a couple of words that sound alike but have very different meanings. The words are allowed and allowed. They share the same phonetics, but their definitions are completely dissimilar. First of all, the word allowed means to do something audibly. That is to say that something is done that can be heard. For example, not in a low whisper, but in a voice that can be heard.
The thing in question is being done aloud. He read the letter aloud for all to hear. The word aloud is an adverb. It describes how something is being done. Then there is allowed, which is a verb that means to give permission or to consent to something. You allow something to happen. It is allowed. One person has allowed another person to do something. The sign says, "No ball games allowed." I'm sorry, but no one is allowed in this room. On a side note, to allow also means to put aside something, so something else can be done. I will allow a couple of hours this afternoon for a rest. To consider something or to keep something in mind is also allow. You must allow for delays before starting your journey.
And there it was, one of my many English lessons. There are so many. You could spend hours and hours swimming in the ocean that is my YouTube channel. And there is lots of useful information right there for you to absorb. Here we are back, yes, we are live now. This is live, right now, live. Well, let me just check. Yeah, I'm definitely live at the moment at 2:32 on a Wednesday. I hope you are having a good day where you are in the world, wherever you are, by the way, wherever. Every person is welcome here. If you are interested in learning the English language, improving your English, welcome everyone. Hello to... Oh, we have a complaint here. Oh, a complaint. Sandra. Sandra says, I am feeling okay, but I'm angry with YouTube. What is wrong, Sandra? What has happened? It does not remind me of the beginning of Mr. Duncan's lesson. Well, I will see if I can help you, because as you know, I'm a big star on YouTube, and I know everyone. I know Susie, as I call her, at YouTube, so I will just give her a phone call and let her know. Excuse me. Just a moment. Oh, hello. Can I speak to Sue? You know, Susie. You know, she's the big boss at YouTube. Yes. Okay. Oh, hello, Susie. Nice to speak to you. How are things going on there at YouTube? Is it okay? Is it good? I have a message here from one of your users. Sandra is sending a message to you, and the message is... There we go, Sandra. I hope that helped. And we all feel better about that. Beatrice says, I remember the lesson about the kissing gate. I remember all the details of when you were walking through the kissing gate. The only problem was, of course, I had no one to kiss. I was by myself. Well, there was me and there was a couple of cows nearby. So I suppose I could have gone over to the cows and given them a little kiss as well. Hello also to... Oh, who else is here today? Hello, 100 DOB. Mr. Duncan, I hope soon you will get 1 million subscribers. I hope soon it will happen. Well, I think it will happen between now and the end of time. At some point, I know that I will reach 1 million subscribers, or should I say 1 million subscribers. Hello also Christian. Hello Christian. We have Christian Stephen Cardona Monsal. Hello to you and welcome. Thank you for joining me on Wednesday. Yes, it is Mr. Duncan. For those wondering what this is, this thing you are watching now is Mr. Duncan. You are right, yes. And sometimes I talk about the English language, and other times I like to run around the fields chasing the sheep and the cows, as I often do. And sometimes I also like to go to the local park and play on the swings.
I'm a big boy now.
I hope you enjoyed that. A moment of frivolity or frivolity. I hope you enjoyed that very much. Hello also, Lewis. Lewis is here. Lewis says, I have learned the formal greeting Labastiena, but later I saw you write Labas. Well, I think Labas is okay as well. It's a little bit like in English where we say hello, but sometimes we say hi. So you might have formal, which is hello. Hello, 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 oh, hello. Or informal, hi, hi there, hi. How's it going? How's it hanging? What's new, baby? Edith Goulet. Hello, Edith. I haven't seen you for a long time. Where have you been? And what have you been doing? I wonder. Today we are looking at advice, and I thought it would be interesting to have a look at some of the words connected to giving and receiving advice. And that is what we are going to do right now. Giving words of advice. So this actually expresses the action of doing it. So you are giving... Did you see those birds then? Lots and lots of birds were flying behind me. Lots of them. Giving words of advice. If you give words of advice, it means you are expressing yourself through some information, some helpful information, maybe something that you feel another person will benefit from. So quite often advice is something spoken, something you say. So that is why we say you give words of advice, because for most of the time advice is spoken. Advice is something that is offered. So we often think of advice as something that is offered. You offer advice. You give advice. You are offering advice to another person. So advice is something that is offered. A helpful hint or suggestion is advice. So we might describe advice as a helpful hint or a suggestion, something you suggest to someone is advice. You offer advice, so one person can offer advice, and of course you might receive advice. So it is possible to give and receive advice. Maybe you could also describe it as an active action or a passive action. So to give advice is active. If you receive advice, then it is passive. Yes. Advice is the thing given. As a verb, you advise someone. So advice is the thing, but if a person is offering the advice or the information, you can say that they advise you. Advise. They are offering advice. They are advising you. They are offering information or help. The advice given is seen as helpful to the one offering it. So a person will give advice or offer advice because they feel that the information is useful. So quite often when we want to help someone, maybe we have a friend who is in need and we feel as if maybe I can say something or offer some help, some advice. So quite often we feel that the advice that we offer, oh, hello there, hi, hello, hello. Are you going for a walk, are you? Are you having a nice walk there? Hello, enjoy your walk. Quite often advice is seen as helpful to the one giving it, giving the advice. You might ask someone for advice. You seek a person's counsel. Oh, I like that one. Counsel. So if we are speaking formally, we might say that advice is a form of counsel. You are giving advice. You are giving counsel. The advice is given. And we will look at another way of expressing that later on. Advice is help, assistance, information, guidance, instruction, recommendation. So all of those words can be used as advice. So you are giving help. You are giving assistance. You are offering information. You are giving guidance. You are giving instruction. Or you are offering recommendation. A recommendation is something that one person feels might be useful to another person. Maybe they want to stay in a certain town and you might know of a hotel, maybe a great hotel, and you might recommend the hotel that you stayed at in the past. So that is a form of advice. Very nice. You might receive advice willingly, and we describe this as solicited advice. So if you receive advice that you actually want, so maybe you are looking or searching for advice from another person, you receive it willingly because you want it, you need the advice. So we describe that as solicited advice. However, you might receive advice unwillingly. Some people will try to help you. They try to offer advice. Even if you don't want it, even if you don't need it, people will sometimes try to force you to accept or listen to their advice. So we describe this as unsolicited advice. Unsolicited means unwanted. Something you did not want, something you don't wish to receive is unsolicited. So the advice is being offered, but you don't want it. I don't want the advice. Of course, not all advice is useful. You might find yourself receiving bad advice. And yes, it is true. Especially in these strange times where everyone is coming up with new ideas or new ways of doing things. I suppose the big thing at the moment is investing your money into shares or stocks, playing the market, as they call it. There is a guy on YouTube, and he keeps popping up on my YouTube channel in an advert. You've probably seen him. Greg Secker. Have you seen him? He is always popping up in adverts on my channel. I don't know why, but when I'm watching YouTube videos, there he is, Greg Secker. Hi everyone, Greg Secker here. I'm just with the Penguins at the moment. Would you like to gamble all of your hard-earned money on the stock market? No, I would not, actually, because quite often that advice might be described as bad advice. Some people say, oh, you should get your money and invest in Bitcoin. Maybe that's bad advice. I think a lot of people see that as bad advice, especially if you don't have much money. You might say that that is not good advice. If you don't have much money, don't put all your money in the stock market because you might lose everything. So you might describe it as bad advice. Of course, not all advice is useful. You might receive advice that is not good. A person receiving bad advice might be described as being ill-advised. I like that word. It is a great phrase. So a person who receives bad advice, we can say that that person receiving it has been ill-advised. It is not a good suggestion. It is not a good idea. It is not good at all. Don't follow that advice. It is bad advice. A professional advisor is often described as a counsellor. So yes, you can have all sorts of advice on many different things, especially to do with life. Life is one of those things you can't avoid. We spend all of our life trying to deal with life, and sometimes we never get it right. A professional advisor is often described as a counsellor. They are a person who gives advice in a professional manner. So I suppose you could have a counsellor connected to relationships, maybe a marriage counsellor, or here, quite often here we call them a marriage advisor. So you can have a marriage counsellor, a marriage advisor, or of course we can say marriage guidance as well. A person who offers advice is a counsellor. They offer advice and guidance. Some people find it hard to ask for advice and see it as a sign of weakness. That is true. I think quite often we don't want to seem as if we have to look for advice. We like to think that we know everything. We like to go through life thinking, I don't need any advice. I know everything. So we might find seeking or asking for advice as a sign of weakness. And here is the question that I have for you. Do you ever offer or ask for advice? Where do you get your advice from? Maybe you are looking for a certain type of information. Maybe you are looking for help with a certain thing. Quite often advice is sought or looked for because a person has a problem they can't solve. And of course these days I suppose it would be fair to say that most people, if they need advice, they will go straight to the internet. That is where they will go to. They will click on something, they will go to a search engine, and then they will search for that information or that advice. So do you ever offer or ask for advice? So that is the question I'm asking for the next few moments. If you have something, maybe recently you've been looking for advice or information, can I just tell you my own story? Recently, I had some problems with my computer and I decided to repair the computer myself. So I had to look for lots of information and advice on the internet. So I looked at many websites, lots of YouTube videos, and I learned all about the technical parts of a computer and the things that might go wrong with them. And let's face it, quite often computers do go wrong. They do break down. They have faults and problems. So I had to find some advice. I had to look for information so I could repair my computer. I had to find out which parts I needed and how much they would cost and where I could get them from. So yes, Vitas is going. See you later, Vitas. Don't worry, you can always watch this again. You can find all the information here later on because this live stream will be available. So have you ever offered advice? Maybe you are a person who knows something about a certain subject, or maybe you've had your own experiences of that particular thing. Have you ever offered advice? Maybe you've gone to a person and you've offered advice to them. Some people are very good at giving advice. I'm not sure if I am. Sometimes I have moments where I think of inspirational things, words, sentences, proverbs. Of course, we often give advice in speech, as I said earlier, and quite often we use proverbs as a way of giving advice, something we can say to help another person. Let's see if there are any. Jose or Jose Marquet says, if advice was good, it would not be given, it would be sold. Well, I suppose these days there are lovely people around who like to give advice and offer information for free. So not everyone wants to be paid for it. Some people try to offer their time or their services for free. It does happen quite a lot, especially these days. Edith says, I have given advice more times to my friends, but she never followed it. Well, that's the other problem, isn't it? Sometimes you receive bad advice, but also sometimes you receive good advice, but you ignore it. And that, I think, is human nature. Sometimes we feel too proud to take advice. As I said earlier, some people believe that advice or asking for advice is a sign of weakness. So sometimes you might offer another person some good advice, but they don't take it. They don't take your advice, even though the advice you are giving is very good. I think so. I would imagine that a lot of people are looking for advice on certain topics at this moment. Maybe advice on getting fit and healthy. Maybe during the past 2 years, people have been doing less and maybe eating more. Perhaps you are looking for advice on how to lose weight or become more fit and healthy. So there are many things you can search for, you can hopefully find if you need advice, especially on something that is affecting your life. Maybe there are things that are worrying you and you feel as if you need to speak to someone to get advice from them. There is no shame ever in searching for advice or asking for help. You should never feel upset or ashamed. Gulu says, if it is very urgent, then only leave the session in the middle. Otherwise, you should enjoy every wonderful session. So do you mean this? Do you mean this lesson? Do you mean my live videos? Well, some people don't watch all of my video. Maybe they watch it in small sections. So sometimes you will find there are people who are very patient and they can sit for the whole hour or sometimes 2 hours and they can watch all of my live stream. Christina says, I don't like to give advice because I'm afraid of being wrong. Oh, only if I am sure of what I am saying. Well, I think that's a fair point. Yes, I think that's a good point to make. Sometimes we have an understanding of a certain subject or topic, maybe experience, and that's what I mentioned earlier. Sometimes our own experiences can be used to help another person. Something you've come across, something you've experienced in your own life. And from that, you can offer advice. I think so. I once asked how to get to a play. The answer was by going there. Well, I suppose that's good advice. It's also a little bit sarcastic as well. Sometimes a person might not want to give advice. Perhaps you ask someone for advice, but maybe that person does not want to help you. So that can be a little bit embarrassing when it happens. I think so. Before I leave you today, I thought I would offer some advice. Do you mind? Would you mind if I did this? So this is something I did before during my regular live streams when we were all in lockdown here in England. Do you remember? I did lots and lots of live streams every day during the pandemic lockdown, which now seems such a long time ago. So here are some of my words of advice. You can take them or you can leave them. You don't have to accept them. My first word of advice before I go. Never worry about the things you cannot change. As we go through life, there are many things that exist around us that we can't change. Maybe you are concerned about your appearance, or maybe the way you do a certain thing. Don't worry about those things. You can't always change yourself. It is possible to do it, but not completely. So don't worry about the things you cannot change. There are things around us that we can't change. For example, time. We can't do anything about that. A lot of people worry about time. They think I don't have enough time. Time is running out. Tick tock, tick tock. The clock is ticking and I don't have enough time. And people become very upset and worried because they feel that time is always running out. What you should do is forget about that and just use the time. Make sure that you are using the time usefully. So don't worry about the things you cannot change. We are all going in the same direction. We are all heading towards the same final destination. But don't worry about it. Concentrate on your own goals. And this is something a lot of people try to do. Some people do it early in life. Some people decide to do it later. But we all have something we want to do. Concentrate on your own goals and not the ones of others. Don't become distracted by other people's lives. You might think, oh, it's not fair. My neighbour has a big car and I don't. Don't worry about it. Maybe one day you will have your own car, your own big car to drive around. So that is just one example. There are many others. Concentrate on your own goals and do not become distracted by other people's goals or the things they are doing, because it can become too much of a distraction. Worrying about what other people think will eventually become an unwelcome distraction. So this is reinforcing what I just said. Worrying about what other people think, and we all do it. I used to do it a lot. I don't do it very much anymore, because as you get older, you realise that what people think of you doesn't really matter. So worrying about what other people think will eventually become an unwelcome distraction. Your thoughts, your plans will start to become unclear if you think too much about other people's opinions and attitude. We all have a story to tell, but only a few of us have the courage to tell theirs. I believe this. I know I've mentioned this many times in the past, but we all have a story to tell inside. It's in there. Maybe in our mind or in our heart. There is something we want to express, something we want to write down. But quite often we feel afraid to do it because we don't know what other people will think. My advice there is don't worry about what people think. Stuff them. That's my advice. Do it. If there is something you want to write down, something you want to express, something that is in your mind, and maybe something you want to write down, maybe a story, maybe an experience that you want to share with others, do it. That's what I say. We all have a story to tell, but only a few of us have the courage to tell theirs. Write about the things that interest you, and this is a good piece of advice when we are talking about learning English. Maybe you want to write something down, maybe you want to practice your spelling, or maybe you want to practice your handwriting. Write about the things that interest you. Express yourself through the things that draw your attention in a positive and meaningful way. And this is what I've done in the past, especially if you are asked maybe to write an essay or give a speech. My advice is always talk about something you know about, something you enjoy doing, something you have an interest in. Write about the things that interest you. So that piece of advice is good for life, but also it is good for those who are practicing their English, their written English. Here's a good one. A bad moment is short-lived, so don't let it spoil all of the moments that follow on from it. And this is quite often something we do. Maybe someone in the street, maybe their attitude is not very good towards us, and then the rest of the day we feel depressed and upset about it. But that moment was so short, so fleeting, and yet we spend the rest of the day thinking about it. So a bad moment that you experience is short-lived. It only lasts for a very short time. So don't let it spoil all of the moments that follow on from it. And the last one, I like this one. This one comes from the heart. The next time someone calls you eccentric or maybe weird, reply with, "I'm not eccentric. You are boring." And that is it. I will leave you with those words of advice. I hope you've enjoyed it. We are going in a moment. When I say we, I mean myself, but also you as well. I will end the live stream in a few moments, but don't worry, I will be back. We are, of course, back together on Sunday. And yes, Mr. Steve will be here on Sunday. He will be joining us live in the studio. I hope you've enjoyed this live stream, and I hope it's been useful to you. I hope something good has come from it. And that is the reason why we often give advice. We like to think that the advice is useful. We like to think that the advice we give can help other people. So I hope I have helped you today. Thank you very much for your company. See you on Sunday. Don't forget 2 p.m. UK time. Look out for the notifications. And don't forget, please give me a thumbs up if you like this. Give me a thumbs up. And of course, you can subscribe as well to my YouTube channel. And you will never miss another one of these ever. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thanks for watching. See you on Sunday. Have a great day. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. And stay safe, stay happy. Don't forget I'm thinking about you wherever you are in the world. And you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Ta-ta for now.